Next up, we have Redefine Beyond the Divine Ordeal by the musical Ghost for VNMC 2023 Finals Tiebreaker featured in Osumania, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in ways that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. Thanks for the sub, gifted sub selling. I appreciate it. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, what happens if we reach 10,000 before Christmas 2025? The gaming channel. How to request songs if you're not on the live stream. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of the video. Stick around for that. Disclaimers, updated disclaimers showing on your screen now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitared, so please keep that in mind. With that, let's do this. Redefine Beyond the Divine Ordeal. Let's go. Okay, so we have quite a few elements going on over here. We start, of course, with the hitting of the drums and whatnot. Then we bring in a piano, giving us two sides. One of them is doing the chords, and the other one is giving us the melody. And the melody, of course, contains our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. I updated the disclaimer, yeah. So, when it comes to motifs, usually what happens is that you're going to have a motif. And then when you add several motifs, you're gonna have what is called a phrase. And phrases, usually a combination of phrases or even phrases by themselves, are gonna be your melody. So usually your motifs are gonna be several parts. They can be several parts. They can be a single part motif. It really depends on how long you want your melody to be, right? So you can have several motifs, several variations of your motifs, or several whatever of each iteration, right? You can have regular motifs, you can have cadential motifs, or those kinds of things, right? So the difference between a motif and a cadential motif is that a motif is going to be your original idea, whatever is bringing the music forward, that is as unheard of as possible, right? Something fresh, something new. So, for example, in the case of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, right? Something that is not quite as easy to come up with. And then there's cadential motifs, right? There's accompaniment motifs, there's non-tones, there's a bunch of different things that you can add to your motifs, but then cadential motifs are one of the other more common ones to include. When you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You're building tension or you're resolving that tension, that point in between. We often call the cadence. So, cadence is going to be the building of the resolution of the expectation that you build. So when you have cadential motifs, what they're going to do is that they're going to help you loop back to the start of your melody so that you can start with your motif once again. Regular motifs are very jealous. They are very envious. They do not like not having the spotlight constantly shining on it. And if you don't constantly give the spotlight to your motif, it will break your music. It will absolutely destroy your music. Unless it's a cadential motif being used in the latter part of your melody. So let's say we are using a melody such as we're having that as the main motif. Yes, I'm taking that from Ordeal. And then we bring a cadential motif. So cadential motif can be whatever leads to a resolution, right? So or any of these motifs that they don't necessarily sound as original as they could be, but they do loop everything back together. So if we bring the idea here. So the cadential motif there didn't, I mean, it's a cadential motif. It's like kind of like a cliche, but it fit in the melody. I can do any of the other ones. What? So it extends the melody and it allows you to just extend on it. It elongates the phrase, and it gives you more time to develop, and it takes more time to do this. So we're having that happening over here, where we're developing the melodies very beautifully. We're looping back. Let's see where it goes. Oh yeah, and we also have the so yeah, you can hear a variation, so we're immediately giving variations of the motif. We're developing it, giving a little bit of sequencing for some of these. Mainly these are just regular variations that you would get, like changing directions of individual notes, changing individual bits of the rhythm, stuff like that. But something I wanted to point out is I like the clock ticking as being a percussion over here. Really nice. I like that. And yes, you can develop a motif by just changing how long the notes are. For example, there's this melody I've been hearing. No, I'm not gonna play it. No, I don't want to go into this tangent. Yeah, forget that. Let's continue. Because I just realized I don't know the melody. Very nice. We have some melodies at the bottom. Okay, so to bring in the a little bit of a moment of suspense, we engage the piano in a trill plus a ritardando. So, a trill is when you play two notes in quick succession, one after the other. So in this case, you could hear it, and on top of that, we add a ritardando. Ritardando, usually abbreviated to RIT, is when you slow down everything. And basically, we did that. So if you have a trill with a ritardando, you're gonna end up, of course, the trill, as I said, you play two notes in quick succession. And the cool thing is that it gives you this quantum state that you can count it as playing both notes, one of the two notes, or neither at the same time. And it applies to whatever chords you're doing, right? So we can, for example, we can use G and A. And I can then play, right? I'm bouncing between two chords, and it just sounds like the note, the notes belong in both chords. So we're having this, and then we are adding a ritardando to this, which just means to slow down, right? It's exactly what we just heard. And then you just determine which one you end it. We bring in the other thing. Let me just go back a second or two. Let's see where this goes. So we now bring in accompaniment with the chorus and everything. And we bring in now this version of the motif, which I guess is going to be an elongated version, probably. And, or this could be just an entirely completely motif. Right now, I'm having a little bit of issue figuring out. It might be just elongated. So elongation is when you, slow something down in your music, but not the entire thing. It's Mecha Game with Jets. I'm gonna have to really check it out. So yeah, so for example, a ritardando is when you just completely slow down everything. Elongation is when you take something in concept and you elongate that while everything, and you make that slower while everything else kind of stays the same. So right now, I think we're using this over here, and then of course we're engaging in a quick call and response between the whoop whoop of the electronic elements and the chorus and the, I think there's bells there playing the motif. Let's see where it goes. Nice, we have a hit of the bell. Ooh. So now we are introducing the new accompaniment of course, accompaniment being whatever doesn't have the spotlight at any given time, right? It's the backing band, the backup, whatever you want to call it, whatever doesn't have the lead, whatever doesn't have the spotlight. We of course have the drums, and we have a bass engaging in syncopation. Syncopation is when you play against the beat. You can hear it very, very clearly right now. It's against the beat or against the metronome. And of course, you can hear it. The bass drum hits, And when it doesn't hit, the bass hits, giving us this sense of constant motion. Then we are bringing some arpeggios here and there, giving us short bursts of the chorus and everything in the motif and all of this. With that, arpeggios, of course, when you play a chord one note at a time, right? So here is C minor, here it is arpeggiated. So yeah, you can have this going on, really, really cool, with little sprinkles of the chorus that we had before with the bell and everything else. Let's see where it goes. Ooh. And now bringing what I think is another variation of the motif, giving us a crescendo. So crescendo is when you make something louder, relatively speaking. So it's the act of making something go from relatively quieter to relatively louder. The opposite of crescendo is a diminuendo or a decrescendo, depending on which school you're talking about, right? So, same thing, you know, potato, tomato kind of thing. Crescendo, getting louder. Diminuendo or decrescendo, getting quieter. Right now we're having that going on. Let's see where it goes. Building. Hang on. Let me hear it again. Did we just use a... Okay, so we bring in a, like, you know, TV, no signal tone there. Still on the key, interrupting everything, coming out of absolutely nowhere, and oh my god. I was not expecting this. It is filled with a lot of unexpected things, and of course what this tone did, it wasn't quite rhythmic displacement. It engaged a little bit more in call and response. Let's just see where this goes. We changed. It did help us change the drums, and we're building up. All right, we speed up the drums again. We're bringing in arpeggios with these violins, speeding up everything. We're building up to. Okay, really, really interesting because we're having this, we're having the arpeggios now going up and down. The drums are varying very fast. They're changing the beat very, very fast, super, super fast. But the motif itself is elongated, and the harmonic rhythm is also slow. So that's why this piece feels fast and not fast as well. So it feels like speed-wise, this is going pretty fast. Speed-wise, we're going pretty fast. But pace-wise, we're going at a pretty stable pace. So, when it comes to this, I just mentioned harmonic rhythm. In music, you have three elements. Melody, harmony, and rhythm. Melody being your individual lines of music, the horizontal ones, counterpointed kind of thing. Rhythm being how fast, how slow things happen, when they happen, tempo, BPM, all that kind of stuff. And harmony being by far the most complicated, being the notes that you're using, the scales you get out of that, the chords you get out of that, the relationship between them, the relationship between the different sets, and you can just keep extrapolating. And among those is the concept of harmonic rhythm. Harmonic rhythm is how fast or how slow you change your chords. So it's not just which chords you're using, but how fast or how slow you change them. So let's take, for example, let's say we're having a 4/4 set over here, which, you know, each bar is going to be just counting 1 through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be another 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. And we're going to be playing just one chord per bar. So let's say we have C in the first 2 bars, and then G in the next one. So we're doing root and fifth. We're creating a very simple cadence over here. So if we were to do this, as is written right now, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back to the top. 1. So here we are having, you know, 1 chord per bar. We're occupying the full bar, and the harmonic rhythm is then established. If I then add a new chord in between the bars, so let's say we add between C and G, we add D, and after G, we add a G7, we then get, we are speeding up the harmonic rhythm. The rhythm itself is going to be the same, but because we are speeding up the change between the chords, the pace is going to go up. So let's do this again. Let's the first version that we had, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the new version. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did mess up one of the notes there, but in general, just by the fact of me changing how fast the chords change, the rhythm stayed the exact same. We played 1 chord per bar, but because we changed which chord, and we changed the fact that we go from 1 chord every 2 bars to 1 chord every bar, we have now sped up the harmonic rhythm despite us having the same tempo, the same speed, and the same hitting 1 chord per bar. Because we changed which chords are happening, the harmonic rhythm speeds up, which gives now a sense of the piece itself speeds up, the pace speeds up, even though everything else remains the same. So the way that we're balancing things over here is that the drums are going pretty fast, the melodies are going fairly, the accompaniment is going fairly fast, but the melody and the harmonic rhythm are staying relatively slow. I think pretty much to the same that we had at the start. So we're keeping that pace fairly slow, and we are allowing everything else to balance things out. We get a very nice best of both worlds kind of thing. Let's see where it goes. All right, we bring in a piano, doing some runs. Nice. So we bring in a piano doing runs, right? So a run, when it comes to music, a run is usually when you go very fast in your notes, like you're doing scales really fast, and basically what the piano is doing right now. You can hear it going very, very fast up and down. In the meantime, everything else stays the same. The main motif is now set more to the accompaniment, but the main motif is still there, taking the spotlight whenever I can. So let's see where it goes. Welcome back, Basterd. We switch over. Variation, I would say, of the original motif here with this melody and a new synth. And off the ramp we go. Off the ramp being, of course, a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a transition. It can be as short as a couple of beats, it can be as long as an entire section, and the point of it is to make your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land, right? How do you do that? Remove the drums, maybe the bass, or as many layers from below as you want to give you this sense of suspension. Let's see where this goes. So we're still getting that glitchiness, interrupting everything, mainly for texture. We switch the melody to this other one. This is really cool, yeah. Like, I think we have yet to listen to a piece on Osu that has been objectively bad. Like, yeah, we had that one from Camellia that gets overwhelming at the end, but that's kind of like for Osu, right? So the rest of it was pretty good. Yeah, I think we haven't had one that is like, oh yeah, this was actually bad kind of thing. I don't think we had that so far. I think those are pretty rare too, because I don't. Now that I'm thinking, we've had what, like 3 so far in the entire history of this channel where I've gone like, oh yeah, this is bad. So yeah, let's see. Nobody requests a bad song. No, we've had that happen. So yeah, let's see where this goes. New rhythm, syncopated drums. With this new version of the melody, very beautiful. So something to keep in mind is that the previous time when we were having the strings giving us the melody, they were doing what is called staccato. Staccato means short bursts of music, and that is exactly what was happening with those strings, with that version of the knee. Bang, bang, bang. Now we're doing the opposite, which is legato. Legato means you're just letting the notes ring all the way through, all the way to the end, which is what we're getting over here. Oh yeah, it's extremely rare. It's extremely rare for us to get an objectively bad song. Like, we've done what? We're about to reach, I think this week we might reach LFA number 650. And out of those, I think we've only done 3 objectively bad ones, I believe. Yeah, either this or next week we are reaching... oh shit, I should not have closed that. Either this or next week we are reaching LFA number 650. Out of which I would say 2, maybe 3 have been bad. And out of which I've only picked 3 as well. Different ones, thankfully. So yeah, very extremely rare for us to do that here. So yeah, let's see where this goes. Very beautiful percussion there. We bring up the texture. Off the ramp, introducing. We reintroduce the syncopated bass without the drums. We are bringing now this higher synth, giving us another syncopated version of the motif. Oh, let's see where this goes. No, it's not syncopated. It's not syncopated. It's on beat. But because the bass is syncopated, but there's no drums playing, the bass is giving us that bit of rhythmic, is displacing everything and giving us the illusion that the bass is the beat when it's not. Giving the illusion that the melody is syncopated when it's not. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. I like this. I actually do like this. Like, conceptually, that's so cool. Let's see where it goes. Music bad, you're doing... No, we've had times when we've called music bad, yeah. Oh yeah, syncopation. I think I said it before, right? Syncopation? Syncopation is when you play against the beat. When you play against the beat or against your metronome. So yeah, we have that, and oh my god, this is so cool. Let's see where it goes. So we're building up. We bring back the drums, and... And we bring in, so we drop the beat, we're bringing things around, we're bringing back a couple of stingers here and there, and most importantly, we are just playing, we're doing a repeated note. We're repeating notes in the motif, and we're also just doing some octave displacement, right? So octave displacement, as the name suggests, is when you displace something in the displace what octave your something in your melody happens. So in this case, let's say we bring the scale of A minor, right? So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is featured in Osumania. So yeah, octave displacement, we're doing a lot of repeated notes. So basically, let's say we're doing A 3 times, then C, and then back to A. So we're doing something like that, right? But we're gonna now displace the octave. So now let's do first first note here in A, then up to the other A, third one here, up to C, and back to A. So now we go from this to this. So we're doing something like this in essence, where we are also, and we could also repeat the motif. So let's say the original motif was just, and then we decide, okay, but what if we just repeat the first note? What if we repeat the note, but we displace the octave? And this is how you can really develop your motifs very quickly, right? Because we just went from to, and you can even continue doing that. I'm just moving around the rhythm, and I just came up with a melody out of nowhere. And Zolo Zolo, welcome to the mosh pit. Welcome today. How you doing? Thank you for the follow. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's just see where it goes. Ah, very cool. So we're just replacing the octave here, moving the drums around and off the right. Nice. Oh, we bring a proper beat drop. Nice. Oh, okay, so we drop the beat. Of course, when it comes to music, you want to keep a careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much of the same thing, too much repetition, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. Exceptions are universal. There's one universal exception, which is solos. You bring in a solo, no matter what style, no matter what genre, you can get away with it as long as it sounds cool enough and it fits enough. Electronic music has an additional exception, which is dropping the beat. You drop the beat, you do a good whoop whoop in the bass, you can get away with anything. Which is what we're seeing over here. We're still doing variations on the melody. Let's see where it goes. It's so cool. Ooh. And we are just messing with the rhythm. So we have this, like, cowbell sounding thing, and we're just doing variations rhythmic wise. Like, we're just messing around with the rhythm and giving that a little bit of whoop whoop to it. We still have whoop whoop, the whoop whoop bass, that's what I call it, right? Because, you know, the drop beats, whenever you do a beat drop and it has the whoop whoop bass, the bass goes whoop whoop, you know? Whoop, 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 kind of thing, right? So now we're having this one as a middle ground between the call and response, interrupting everything. This is an interesting way, because let's get meta a little bit. There was a track we did called Cthulhu from the Rolling Sky soundtrack, and it attempted to do something like this, where you drop the beat and instead of going straight for the whoop whoop, you go for a higher sounding kind of like cowbell. And we disliked it in that one. Yes, you can have Mongolian throat singing with that, you know, whoa, 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 kind of thing. So yeah, no, we're having this one going. In Cthulhu, it didn't work. Why? Because there was no bass to this. In this case, it is working. Why? Because we're balancing out everything. Let's just see where it goes. There's the melody and variation of the melody again. And now we're doing a variation that we are now holding a note, a pedal note, technically. Pedal note, pedal tones, that's when you just hold a note down. And we are going back and forth, right? So we have the melody, which is, oh, too much. So let's say the melody is going here, right? Like we're doing this kind of thing, and we're just going, let's see, we're doing that, but then in between, we're gonna add a pedal that we keep going back to. So now we go from sounding to going. I put one more. So yeah, we're having this, and oh my god, it's so good. And McLovin, welcome today. There are two ways that I might play Geometry Dash. Number one is if we somehow get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas 2025. If it happens, and if it gets voted as the game that we play. Number two, if or when I become synonymous with the idea of Geometry Dash. You think of Geometry Dash, you think of me. Why? Because I find the idea of becoming a behemoth in the community without having played the game absolutely hilarious. So yeah. Anyway, let's see where this goes. And of course, we're messing with the rhythm a little bit. Oh, this is so good. We change the pedal note, and we do this again. We switch the drums around to a more, like, hardcore. We're, like, again, we are getting so much in terms of the drums. The drums are changing so fast every single time. And the glue that is holding everything together, solid concrete, is the harmonic rhythm. It's just the harmonic rhythm. This whole thing If the chords were changing as fast as the drums are changing, this would be insanely overwhelming and it would be awful. But we are changing the chords slowly. They're still hitting, like they're still hitting just as fast. But because we're keeping that harmonic rhythm slow, it is giving us a sense of balance for the pace, and it's just working. Let's see where this goes. Is it snowing there? I don't think it is today, no. Let's see. There we go. Off the ramp. We bring now elongated variation. We're having the piano doing arpeggios. Very lovely. Orchestral percussion now. Very nice. Modulation there. Very nice. And we modulate. So, modulation is a thing that happens in harmony, which is when you change from one set of chords or a key signature to a different key signature. So, if we bring back the scale of A minor, right? So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then back to A. That is the key of A minor, which is playing all the white keys on the keyboard from A to A. That's the A natural minor, all the natural keys. However, as you can see, there's 5 more keys in the keyboard. And if you play all of them, you get what is called the chromatic scale. If you then apply certain formulas, you can then have the same structure of the scales applying from a different scale. So the structure of the A minor scale can apply to the C minor scale. They're just starting from a different point, and then relatively speaking, we have those. So we have the key of A minor, we have the key of C minor, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, and B flat, then C. So as you can see, there's 3 notes that are different. We have E flat, A flat, and B flat between A minor and C minor, which, of course, is what you can hear it, right? So here's A minor, here's C minor. So we're having this going on, and if you want to switch around between the two, you need to engage in what is called modulation. Now, there are many kinds of modulation. The most ideal one usually is common chord, where you find chords that both scales have, and then you just use those. In this case, it's not that feasible, because the only notes we have, D, F, and that's it. We can then borrow some notes from the other ones and that kind of stuff. Or we can engage in common tone modulations, Picardy third modulations. There's a bunch of ways of modulations, and one of them is direct modulation. Direct modulation is when you go from one scale into another scale, one key signature, no common chords, no common factors, no common denominators. We just go from one to the other one right away, right? So let's say we are in, we got A minor here. Very nice, very nice. And now we're in B minor. That is direct modulation. I think this is what we have entered over here, even though we used some modulations here, and we ended up, oh my god, on top of this, we did a direct modulation using a deceptive resolution or cadence. So again, when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You are building tension, or you are resolving that tension. That point in between we call the cadence. And usually the build-up creates expectation, and the resolution is the resolution of that expectation. Let's say, for example, the key of C major, right? Building tension. We create this tension over here, which begs us to resolve back to C. However, if we engage in deceptive resolution, we are now resolving anywhere except C major. So if we were to do this again, but we're doing deceptive resolution, we can have that, or we can just engage indirect modulation via a deceptive resolution. So you can really mess around with these. It's a tricky thing to do if you don't know what you're doing, but you can pull it off just as it was here. So really cool stuff. Let's see where it goes. We have that pedal tone going back and forth, variation, and this is more like a solo, I would say. Absolutely a solo. And the trails right there, bringing back the piano as a second solo. Runs with trails, absolutely insane. How you're gonna end this? Completely just allowing this. We speed up the drums. And there we go. We build up. We end the drums. Remnants of the motif. Arpeggiated, we lead one more cadence with the piano, we let everything else echo out, we just let the sound, the energy dissipate, and there you have it. Yeah, the piano is the response to the call of the violin from far away. This is not a fade out, no, not a fade away either. We just allowed everything to play and then we just let the sound dissipate as usual. And there you have it. That was so cool. That was really cool. There you go. That was Redefine Beyond the Divine Ordeal by the Musical Ghost versus arc.sy, says over here, for the VNMC 2023 Finals tiebreaker, featured in Osumania, is my understanding. Brilliant composition. That was so good. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas 2025, on top of doing the audiobook fanfiction thing, I will also play a single video game of the choice of the community, whatever y'all want within terms of service, of course. We'll dedicate some after shows or even maybe a full stream or two to that game. And we'll just trump everything else. We'll just do that, right? This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no bonding, no buying followers, no alt accounting, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share this with everybody that you know. Also use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that you that coordinates for that link down below. Go join the Discord in general and then join for the hype thing. Yes, artists, musicians, the Musical Ghost, arc.sy, or anybody else out there on YouTube or otherwise, this is an open invitation. Let's collaborate, let's work together, let's make stuff. If you want any of my musical skills, whether it's my guitars, Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, whatever it is, reach out, let me know, let's do stuff together, let's work together, let's make music. And if you're in the audience and you know somebody that could benefit from any of my skills, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone, please do not spam anyone, be cool about things. Don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions on what to do. For those on the stream, hang on, we have a giveaway first. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time, at least at this time. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. Again, 6 p.m. Central Europe. If you do not live in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. So, if you live in Drinkwater and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch. They're both in the description down below. And you're going to get the schedule in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. Recorded live on the live stream and the after show. And then the recordings go here. Link down below in the description, or just search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd, just swap the G for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you go. Redefine Beyond the Divine Ordeal, Osumania. Really good stuff, man. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.